Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to follow a young boy on a journey he absolutely never chose. A journey that throws him into a new and, well, a brutally difficult world.
So think about it. Why would a child ever run away from home? It's an unimaginable choice for most of us, right? But for our main character here, the reason was, honestly, brutally simple. See, for 11-year-old Velu, the only answer he could find was to escape his father's constant beatings. And that's his story. We catch up with him right at the moment his escape lands him somewhere he's never, ever been before. The massive, overwhelming city of Chennai. So here we are. A runaway arrives. The second he steps off that Kanyakumari Express, Velu is just completely overwhelmed. You can almost feel it, right? His legs are still wobbly, like the train is still moving underneath him. He's all alone, totally exhausted, and just collapses onto a bench. And get this, he's eaten almost nothing for 2 whole days, just a few peanuts and a little piece of jaggery. At this point, his entire world has just shrunk down to the chaotic noise of the station and this awful, gnawing hunger in his stomach.
And then, out of nowhere, a voice just cuts through all that noise. "Hey, are you new to town?" Velu looks up, and he's about to see the person who's going to change, well, pretty much everything for him.
Okay, Section 2, an unlikely city guide. He looks up and there's this girl, probably about his age. She's got this stiff, brownish hair and is lugging this enormous sack on her shoulder.
So this girl's named Jaya, and what's she doing? She's picking up dirty plastic cups from the platform floor and stuffing them into her sack. It's clear right away she's a survivor. She knows this world inside and out, and she takes one look at Velu and figures out his whole situation instantly.
She just looks at him and says, "Don't think I don't know. This place is full of children like you." Then she asks if he's hungry, tells him she can find him food if he's willing to follow her. And then she just walks away. The pressure is on. He has to make a choice, and fast.
And Velu just panics. I mean, what would you do? He has no idea where he is, what to do next. So he does the only thing he can think of, he runs after her. In that split second, he decides to trust this total stranger. She's his only guide in this massive, confusing new world. But believe me, the lessons the city has for him, they're only just getting started.
All right, Section 3, Lessons of the Street. You have to picture this. Jaya moves like she was born in this chaos. She's expertly weaving through roaring traffic, literally pulling a terrified, hesitant Velu right across the busy road. As they're walking over a bridge, Jaya points to this huge building surrounded by a wall, and this is where Velu gets his first really grim warning about his new life.
She tells him, "If you're not careful, you'll soon be counting bars in there. Just don't get caught." Imagine hearing that. Velu reads the sign on the building, and it hits him like a ton of bricks. It's the Central Jail. And that right there is his first, incredibly harsh lesson about what it takes to survive in this city.
So, let's move on. A meal from a bin. After walking for what feels like forever, Jaya leads him to this really grand wedding hall. It's got this long, fancy name, Sri Raja Rajeswari Prasanna Kalyana Mandapam. For just a second, the Lu must think it looks like a palace. And you can just imagine his hope starting to bubble up. He asks, "Are we going to eat here?" But Jaya just scoffs at the idea. She doesn't lead him to the front entrance, nope. She takes him all the way around to the back.
And the difference is just staggering. Out front, you've got music, laughter, fresh flowers, and all the food you can imagine. But out back, it's the smell of rotting garbage, buzzing flies, and a garbage bin that's overflowing onto the ground. This contrast is so brutal, and it just perfectly shows the reality Velu is now facing. Any hope he had just evaporates, and it's replaced with pure disgust.
And what does Jaya do? She reaches right into that heap of leftovers, pulls out a squashed banana and a vada, and just offers them to Velu. This is his meal. Velu is completely shocked. He protests, saying he only eats untouched food.
But Jaya's not having any of it. She says, "Look, I told you I'd find you something to eat. You better eat what you get until you have your own money." And, his stomach is just twisting with hunger. So reluctantly, he gulps down the banana and the vada. This is it. This is his absolute lowest point.
Okay, so on to our final section, a rag picker's new job. After that meal, Jaya leads him through this really strange area right by the Buckingham Canal. The huts here are, well, they're not made of brick. They're built from old tires, plastic sheets, and scraps of metal.
Then she just hands him some things, an empty sack, a stick, and a pair of old shoes with no laces. Velu is just completely and utterly confused. The only work he's ever known is on a farm, so he asks her, "Are there farms here?"
Jaya just laughs, and then she explains their real job. You see, a rag picker is someone who collects reusable waste, things like paper, plastic, glass, from the garbage, all to sell it. They're rag pickers. This is how they actually earn their living.
So, here's how a rag picker's work goes. First, you collect all the rubbish from the bins. Step 2, you have to sort through all the materials. And then step 3, you sell it to a dealer, someone they call Jambazar Jagu. Velu is horrified. I mean, digging through garbage bins for a living? This is not why he ran away to the city.
He thinks to himself, I'll do it for now, until I find a better job. But really, with no other options and driven by that gnawing hunger and the basic need to survive, Velu has to make a choice.
And so he does. He takes the sack and the stick from Jaya. He chooses survival over his pride. He becomes a child at work. He's found his reward, if you can call it that. It's not riches, not even close. It's just a way to survive one more day. And his story, it really shines a light on a reality that countless children face every single day.
And that leaves us with a really difficult question, doesn't it? For millions of children out there, just like Velu, is there ever truly a better job? It really makes you think about these cycles of poverty and child labor that are happening all around us, often just out of sight.